Have you ever wondered why personal growth is so hard? Let's be honest, no one talks about the brutal side of it. It's uncomfortable, it pokes at our wounds, and makes us feel like we're losing more than we're gaining. And you know what's worse? It's not just about effort, it's about facing parts of ourselves we've spent our entire lives avoiding. While everyone is focused on goals, success, and quick fixes, no one tells you that real growth starts in chaos, discomfort, and pain. That's why so many people fail. They look for shortcuts, but avoid hard truths. The reality? Growth isn't pretty, but it's freeing. Today, let's uncover the truth no one wants to admit about growth in 2025. We'll explore the mistakes almost everyone makes, the patterns that sabotage us, and how to break the cycle once and for all. Now tell me, how are you feeling today? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk. Psychological growth is like learning to dance on a floor where the music constantly changes. Often, our reactions to present challenges are tainted by the melodies of the past, childhood memories that shaped our worldview. Imagine someone who, because they were constantly criticized as a child, reacts defensively to any comment at work. This is the invisible impact of the past on the present. Recognizing this is the first step toward growth. The journey begins by identifying thought patterns that no longer serve us. Have you ever caught yourself repeating the same excuses to justify a mistake? This is where the power of self-awareness lies. Realizing that blaming your environment or circumstances is a shield to avoid confronting the root of the problem. Try keeping a journal, and at the end of each day, reflect on your strongest reactions. Which ones are rooted in yesterday rather than today? Childhood creates internal scripts we follow without realizing, like actors in a play whose story we didn't write. The good news? Once we're aware, we can rewrite those lines. For example, if you grew up hearing, "You're not good enough," you can change your internal dialogue to something like, "I'm always learning and improving." Replacing limiting beliefs with positive affirmations is a practical way to flip the script. Another powerful tool is observing your emotions. When something irritates or saddens you disproportionately, pause and ask, "What does this really represent?" Often, it's not about the present, but an old wound that's been touched. Taking deep breaths and writing down what you felt can bring hidden truths to light. Your environment also plays an important role. If you're surrounded by people who perpetuate limiting thoughts, it's like trying to navigate a river full of rocks. Seek spaces where ideas of growth and learning are encouraged. This could be an online community, a book club, or even conversations with more self-aware friends. Still, recognizing the impact of the past doesn't mean blaming those involved. On the contrary, it's about understanding that the people around us carried their own burdens too. With this perspective, you can let go of resentment and move forward lighter. After all, growth doesn't happen under the weight of grudges. Reflecting on yourself is like adjusting a mirror to see what's out of view. Self-reflection isn't just a moment of contemplation, it's an act of courage. After all, it's easier to ignore our defensive behaviors than to question them. Imagine someone who reacts angrily whenever they feel criticized. That's a shield, not a solution. Stopping to ask, "Why did I react this way?" is a small act that opens big doors. Vulnerability, so feared, is actually the foundation of growth. Admitting you don't know everything, that you can improve, is like preparing the soil for new seeds. For example, if you're afraid to ask for help because it makes you seem weak, challenge yourself to do it in small situations. It could be as simple as asking a colleague's opinion on a project. You'll be surprised how much this strengthens you rather than weakens you. Defensive behaviors are often automatic, but not immutable. Identifying them is like finding a shortcut to improving your personal and professional relationships. If you notice you always try to justify mistakes instead of owning them, try something different. Say, "I was wrong, and here's how I'll fix it." Honesty with yourself and others generates respect and credibility. Adaptation is the art of knowing when to hold on to your convictions and when to let them go. This requires practice and patience. A good exercise is to revisit past decisions and ask, what could have been different if I had acted with more flexibility? Perhaps an argument could have been avoided if you had listened more and spoken less. Interactions with others are great mirrors for our areas of improvement. Whenever you feel frustration or discomfort, use it as a clue. What part of you is being challenged? Remember, every conflict is an opportunity to practice empathy and develop emotional intelligence. Practicing reflection is also much more effective when done regularly. Set aside 10 minutes at the end of the day to write down a moment that made you proud and another you wish you'd handled better. This habit creates an internal database that helps you make better decisions in the future. By embracing vulnerability and reflection, you realize there's no end to growth. And that's the beauty of the process. Every challenge overcome leads to a new level. Speaking of which, if you enjoy reflections like this, subscribe to our channel to keep exploring transformative ideas. Relationships are perfect mirrors. They don't always show what we want, but they reveal what we need to see. When something goes wrong in a friendship, partnership, or family, the tendency is to blame the other. He's selfish. She never listens, we think. But what if the problem isn't just them? By questioning our role in disagreements, we find a unique opportunity for self-awareness. Reassessing connections means more than identifying mistakes. It's recognizing where our expectations are unrealistic. For example, imagine expecting a friend to always respond immediately to messages. This not only puts unnecessary pressure, but also reveals anxiety-seeking validation. Letting go of these ties allows relationships to breathe and thrive. Every conflict carries a hidden lesson. An argument may result from repeated patterns we've ignored for years. Let's say you always react with silence when you feel wronged. This behavior might be a protection mechanism from childhood, but doesn't work in adult relationships. Change begins by calmly and clearly expressing what you truly feel. Reflecting on your relationships also means analyzing whether they align with your values. Some people enter our lives for specific chapters, but not the whole story. Recognizing when it's time to let someone go is an act of love, both for yourself and for them. This isn't failure, but a natural evolution. Building stronger bonds requires conscious effort. Try something practical. Ask yourself how you can be a better friend, partner, or family member today. It might be listening without interrupting, helping without expecting anything in return, or simply saying thank you. Small gestures create big impacts. Rethinking relationships also means accepting that we can't change others, only ourselves. This is one of the greatest challenges, but also the greatest freedom. Remember, people are inspired more by examples than by words. Be the kind of person you hope to meet. Pain has a peculiar way of transforming us. It arrives unannounced, dismantles our certainties, and forces us to look inward. But instead of fearing it, why not use it as fuel for growth? Think about times when you faced a great disappointment. At the time, it seemed like the end of the world, but with time, it may have become the turning point you needed. Adversities, like losses or rejections, teach us more about who we are than moments of comfort. Imagine someone who loses a job and discovers, while looking for new opportunities, that they've always wanted to pursue a forgotten passion. In this case, Pain isn't just an obstacle, it's a compass pointing to a new path. Transforming suffering into growth requires a shift in mindset. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" try thinking, "What can I learn from this?" For example, a breakup can teach the value of setting boundaries or the importance of cultivating your own happiness before seeking it in someone else. Another essential aspect is self-care during tough times. This doesn't mean avoiding pain, but dealing with it healthily. Simple activities like walking outdoors, keeping a journal, or practicing mindfulness help process intense emotions. The goal is to feel the pain without being overwhelmed by it. Adversity also has a curious way of bringing us closer to others. Sharing a difficult experience with someone can create deeper bonds and generate mutual empathy. If you're facing a challenge now, consider talking to someone you trust. Sometimes, sharing the weight makes the journey lighter. A powerful point is realizing that pain doesn't define you, but what you do with it does. Think about inspiring individuals who faced extreme difficulties and turned them into stories of resilience. You don't need to be famous to do the same. Every small victory over pain inspires those around you. Pain is a reminder that we're alive and constantly evolving. Every scar tells a story of strength and endurance. But for this learning to have lasting effect, it requires a real commitment to change. Let's talk more about that in the next section. Committing to change is like planting a tree. It requires patience, care, and determination. Deciding to change isn't enough. You need to act consistently, even when results don't show immediately. How many times have you tried something new, but quit because it felt hard or slow? True transformation comes from persistence, not perfection. Recognizing your flaws is the starting point. Instead of avoiding your shortcomings, view them as opportunities for growth. For example, if you notice you procrastinate, don't punish yourself. Replace that habit with small steps, like working for just 15 minutes on something you've been delaying. These small actions create the momentum needed for continuous progress. Real change begins when we stop looking for external solutions and look within. Commitment to change means being honest with yourself about what you truly desire. Want to be healthier? Commit to walking 30 minutes a day. Want to be more productive? Create a morning routine that helps you start the day with focus. Another key factor is flexibility. Things won't always go as planned, and that's okay. The important thing is to adapt without losing sight of your goals. For example, if you fail to stick to a diet for one day, don't use it as an excuse to give up. Resume the next day with the same determination. Surrounding yourself with people who support your journey is a game changer. A support group, whether in real life or online, can provide motivation and accountability. Imagine having a friend to share weekly goals with. This not only strengthens your determination, but creates a sense of partnership on the path to change. It's important to remember that change is a continuous process, not a final destination. Even when you reach a goal, growth doesn't stop there. There are always new areas to explore, new versions of yourself to discover. Commitment to change is really a commitment to constant evolution. Growth is challenging, but each small step transforms who you are and how you live. Now, ask yourself, are you willing to face uncomfortable truths and act consistently to change your life? Remember, what separates those who grow from those who remain stuck is commitment to the process. What will you start changing today? Is it your way of reacting, your circle of friends, your routine? Share your decision in the comments and inspire others to do the same. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content like this. Now check out the video on the screen to continue your transformation journey. It's packed with insights that will complement what you've learned here. See you there.